thank you so much for joining me today. I'm on the traditional territory of the signatories of Treaty 7 First Nations, and I also want to recognize the Métis people of Alberta who share a very deep connection with this land. Alberta students deserve to learn a modern, inclusive curriculum. Families deserve a government they can trust to have confidence that teachers, cultural leaders, academic leaders, and employers are fully involved in a curriculum that students are expected to learn. Today, we saw a press conference where the minister had to travel 8 hours. 8 hours to find just one school board that was willing to pilot the 3 subjects that she's forcing on schools this fall. When asked why there were no Indigenous leaders endorsing the curriculum today, the minister failed to answer the question, because she couldn't. Jason Kenney used the curriculum as a bait to lure extremists back to him during his leadership review. But the minister couldn't explain any of his statements when she was asked about them today. It is a clear sign that the education of Alberta's children has been stuck into the internal politics of the UCP drama. Adriana LaGrange claimed that she listened to Albertans' feedback on this draft curriculum, but if that were the case, this entire K-6 curriculum rewrite would have been put in the trash, and we wouldn't see it being forced on schools in Alberta this fall. Parents, teachers, trustees, academics, racialized Albertans, Francophones, and Indigenous leaders have repeatedly called on this government to scrap their widely discredited K-6 curriculum rewrite. Just 2 weeks ago, hundreds of Albertans gathered in cities across the province to protest implementing the curriculum in elementary classrooms this fall. But despite this widespread condemnation of the entire K-6 rewrite, the UCP are ramming through a flawed curriculum that 95% of the students attending public Catholic or Francophone schools have rejected. 90% of teachers do not want to teach this in their classrooms. It's so bad that the Northwest Territories is ending a 40-year relationship with Alberta and will teach British Columbia's curriculum instead. Educators have told the UCP that this curriculum is not worthy of our students, that the quality is not good enough, and that it is going to set Alberta education and the students who are here in schools back 50 years or more. And just recently, the UCP's hand-picked curriculum writer criticized Pope Francis for his historic apology to Indigenous people for the Church's role in Canada's residential school system. Just the latest example of genocide denial by Chris Champion. To this day, no one in the UCP caucus, including the Premier, has stepped up to denounce the writings of Chris Champion. Beyond this, the UCP curriculum will not help students prepare for higher learning, the world of work, or how to be engaged citizens. Albertans deserve a government that they can trust to provide students with a curriculum that will set students up for success. So I want to speak directly to parents, teachers, trustees, every Albertan who is appalled by this curriculum. Do not despair. There is hope. An election is coming, and clearly the only way to truly have a curriculum Albertans can have confidence in is to change the government. But Albertans do have the power to elect a government that they can trust. And an NDP government led by Rachel Notley will halt implementation of this horrible K-6 curriculum rewrite, and we will work to build a curriculum that Albertans can all be proud of. Thank you, and I'm happy to take questions.
Okay, we'll go straight to questions on the line. Just a reminder, if you're joining by Zoom, to use the raise hand function. If you're joining by phone, to press *9. We'll go to our first caller. Caller, when your line opens, please state your name and affiliation.
If you could pinpoint some specific examples in the curriculum where you specifically have concerns.
Yeah, thanks for the question. I haven't had a chance to look at today's. It was just rolled out. But what I will say is I'm here in Calgary, and I have heard relentlessly from teachers, from parents, from academics that this curriculum will not set kids up for success, and that the timeline being pushed on schools right now is absolutely unrealistic and is going to be incredibly harmful for teachers and in turn the kids that they're here to help. So I haven't had a chance to see some of the changes between the draft that was released last year and today's that just came out, but what I can say is I will absolutely look into it in far greater detail. But the overwhelming feedback over the last year is that this curriculum is horrible, that this curriculum needs to be halted, that they need to get back to the table, and they actually need to work with teachers as partners, with academic experts, with employers and with parents to make sure that they have a curriculum that we can all be proud of. And that simply hasn't been the case under Adrienne LaGrange, and the UCP certainly have lost the trust of Albertans when it comes to the curriculum rewrite.
Did you have a follow-up?
No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to our next caller. Janet, your line should be open.
Hello, sorry, y'all are overlapping with the Alberta Teachers Association, so I've only just heard the last comment you made, so I apologize if I'm retreading ground. So I guess what goes through your mind when you hear that the government is saying, oh, we've listened to all the feedback that we received and we've incorporated that, we've addressed these issues about potentially too much content in certain grades. We've moved things between grades. Now this aligns with, institutions or jurisdictions where they're following best practices. What goes through your mind when you hear that?
Well, first of all, if that was true, they'd release all of the feedback, but they certainly haven't done that and have never said that they will. If they want us to actually believe that, they should make sure everybody is able to see the feedback that all Albertans gave on this, because overwhelmingly the feedback has been that this curriculum should be shelved, that they shouldn't be trying to ram this through on schools this fall, that it is not developmentally appropriate, and that it is not a timeline that will set kids up for success. So that's the broad public feedback. I'm here in Calgary. I'm hearing this all the time from parents, from staff, from trustees. They want this curriculum to be stopped. There were hundreds of people gathering here last weekend and in many other parts across the province to send that message, and clearly the government hasn't heard it. So to say that they've made changes when it's not good enough, this isn't what Albertans are calling for.
Follow-up, Janet?
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's any relief for you in that now that we've seen the newer timeline that social studies and fine arts has been pushed off for a couple of years, and that this isn't moving into junior high or high school grades anytime soon.
Well, the only relief will actually come if we end up with a government that wants to use evidence, that wants to be inclusive, that wants to work with teachers, and will actually create a curriculum that's positive. Delaying something that's harmful is not good enough. We actually deserve something that's great for every Alberta student, and we don't have a commitment for that from anybody in the UCP.
Any other questions, Janet?
I think I'm good for now. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do one more pass for questions on the line. And seeing none, that's all for today.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much for watching, and to learn more, check out albertasfuture.ca.
And thanks for our awesome staff for pulling us all up on such short timelines. You guys are amazing. Are you staff now too? Not shocking.